Hello. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I am gonna do some sewing, but I'm not quite in my right glasses for it, so we're just gonna regular glasses off, sewing glasses on. I'm gonna make this dress that I've been making for a little while, also give you a little tutorial on how to do it, because I think it would be cool if I could make this so it was more accessible for people. So that is what we're gonna do. I don't, however, know how I'm gonna be doing the measurements and cutting while holding a microphone. Can you still hear me? Beep, beep, boop, beep. So now, as I do with most things that at some point look like they're gonna die, I cut them up and turn them into something. My favorite old duvet. It's plain blue. Mum, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry, because I think you brought this for my 18th birthday, and that was a much loved and valued gift. I am now nearly 22. I no longer sleep in a double-sized bed, so I don't have much use for this. It's been sitting in the cupboard for ages, and I thought this would make a really nice dress. Let's do that. The dress I am going to make today is this little tiered number. So you can see this one is quite like it's like a midi dress. It's very ideal for traveling. I actually made a shorter version without the bottom tier that I also really like, but look, midi dresses are just so comfy and they're so good for traveling. Like, why would I not make another midi dress? And if I really don't like it after a while, I can always take the bottom layer off. Let me just gather my thoughts real quick. So as you can see with this dress, it's the same front and back, so there isn't really a front and back. I'm going to try and make the same dress but with a back that doesn't have like this, you know, the chest bit for the boob. So there'll be a definitive sort of front and back kind of moment. This is my little handy dandy cheat sheet for myself and my body measurements. And I'm going to work with inches. Let's just start with the bust. The fabric is double layered right now, and we're going to do just the front bit here. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to measure out my bust measurement plus 4 inches divided by 2, and that gives me 17.75 inches. Oh my god, do you know, like, I can't remember what this is called, this type of ruler, but this costs $50 here in New Zealand. Now, don't hate on me because I'm using a non-fabric pen, but your gal's on a budget. That's 17.75 inches right there. I want this tier to be 9.5 inches, so we are gonna go 9.5, and then we're gonna do the same on this side. And voila, we have nearly a full square. So now we need to go 17.75 this way, which it should match up. And oh my god, it does. Surprise, surprise. Now, because this is a front, I'm also going to need to go, we need to make like these little armpit dips. So they need to be 2 centimeters downwards. Let's make a little mark there. And then we need to go 2 inches on this side, 2 inches down, yeah. There we go. I can't remember what I did up the top there. Just bear with me, I need to do some calculations. I'll be right back. So I have recalculated, and now I need to go 3.5 inches in. There we go. That is the vibe. Okay, here we go. Wow. So this is the front. Can you see much of this? We're going to cut here, here, down the sides, and there. But I was thinking, you know, while I have measured out the front, I'm going to do the back at the same time so I can cut them at the same time. So what are we going to do here again? I move that off the table a little bit. And we're just going to, again, do the bottom of the bust type measurement. And that was 17.75. Sorry, I'm feeling a bit hyper this afternoon. I haven't really been out of the house in a while. That is life. Okay, there we go, 17.75. Wow, go you. 17.75 out here again. And now we're going to go down, and hopefully this measures out to be 7.5 inches. Oh my god, and it does. This does have a line for me. Let's cut this piece out. So I have cut out two fronts and 2 backs, and the 2 fronts right here. So now I need to do the rest of the tiers while the fabric is still doubled over. The second tier down from the top is going to be 26.6 inches across, 11 inches down, and then the one down from that is going to be 26.6 inches across times 1.5, which comes out at 33.25 inches. And then the last tier is going to be 49.9 inches across. But these are my measurements, so obviously you're going to customize these to your measurements. I'm about a US 4 to 6. I fluctuate sizes quite a bit, and you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah, I tend to make my clothes a little bit on the bigger side so that I can, you know, wear them if I'm thick. Oh yeah, and I've also got to do the straps, which I cut 4 of these straps that are 24 inches long and 3 inches wide. Here are all the pieces sort of cut out. And now with those 4 straps, I'm going to fold them in half and overlock down the sides of them, of each of them. So 4 different little noodles looking like this. And then for each of the tops, because there's 2 fronts and 2 backs, you're going to put the sides together on one of them and overlock on one pair of them, if that makes sense, and overlock the sides, and do that for both. So you end up with 2 tops that are kind of sewn together or serged together, if that makes sense. So we've overlocked the straps, and the straps are the first thing we want to sew for this because they're going to go into the top. You can see I've overlocked the edges, and I overlocked the ends of all the straps with like this little half circle, and that's just so that it kind of comes out nice when you flip it inside out. You can do it square, whatever you're into. I'm going to sew along the edge here. I did think that I was going to go half an inch, but I actually think 3/8 of an inch is what's showing on my sewing machine is a lot better to sew with. So let's do that. Ha, I said better to sew with, but actually it's more like this is just easy and convenient for me. Now as you can see, I'm just, sticking to the sides of those and curling them at the end. That's the 3rd one. Let's get the 4th one going. Oh yes, there we go. Now I'm turning these inside out, which is a little bit tedious, but if you've got one of those turner inside outier tools, I'll put a link in my description of what I'm talking about here because I do not know what they're called. And then you're going to roll out the edges of that and just iron it down. So at the end you'll have 4 little strips all nice and ironed like this. And yeah, I think you saw just before I had my tweezers out I was poking at the end, and that was just to get the point out of the strap at the end and make it as clean or as tight as possible, if that makes sense. So here I am just top stitching down what I've just ironed so that they always stay somewhat in shape. So now I have my straps done, and now we're going to do the top. So now you've got these 2 tops, right? And I measure out about 1.5 centimeters from those top corners from where I want the straps, and then I just mark it down on the back to make sure they're somewhat similar. And I am sewing down the sides of where I serged before just to strengthen and make those pieces look good. Then you're going to turn one of them inside the right way, and you're going to put it inside the other top, if that makes sense. And then where you've marked those pieces of where you want the straps to go, you're going to put them inside and pin it all down nicely, because this is the top part that we're going to sew. I know this is really confusing, so if you have any questions, feel free to message me or write a comment below and I'll get back to you. I'm still trying to navigate how to talk about sewing in ways that are explainable, so I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm just going around and pinning that all down, and now I'm sewing close to that edge all the way around, so this is actually, stabilizing and putting in those straps now. All the way around a nice little merry circle. I'm sewing at 3/8 of an inch, and then I am going to turn that back in the right way and roll out the edges kind of like what I did with the straps, and just iron it down, press it down, put those pins in, and eventually I'm going to do a little top stitch all the way around there. And I do that with my little straight line foot that I've got for my sewing machine, but you can just do this by, putting the fabric to one edge of the presser foot, and you can go around. That's it once I've ironed it. I don't think I've sewn it yet. Oh yeah, no, I did sew it, sorry. Oh my god, I didn't record myself serging all the edges for the main pieces. These are the tiers, and what I'm doing is I'm going down each side of the tier and sewing them together. Now as I go, I'm going around each tier at the top of them, only just the top of them, and I am putting my machine tension as tight as I can make it, and then making the stitch width as wide as I can make it. And now I am attaching the right sides together of the bottom of the top and the first tier, and I'm just going around and pinning the gathering so that, you know, it all stays in place somewhat nicely and it'll be easier to sew. Oh yeah, back on, you know, going around and making the gathering with the foot, I sewed not 3/8 of an inch. I sewed with the press foot right, the fabric right up against the side of the press foot, and now I'm going 3/8 of an inch out for the seam and just going around so that the top part is together. Now I'm doing the same thing again with the bottom of the first tier and the start of the second tier. I did the same thing for the gathering, and now I'm pinning it to the edge of the top tier, right sides together. So let's just do that. This can be really tedious actually, so just take your time with this. Don't be a perfectionist. I know that's really hard to sometimes do or say. Here I am going again, putting that all there, and I actually serge each of these edges just to hold things in place. But if you don't have a serger, that is all good. Now I've done the third tier, and I didn't show it because it's exactly the same as the first and second tier, right sides together, sewing it on, attaching it on, and now, yeah, like I said before, I'm just doing all the overlocking, and now I'm overlocking the hem. This is the end of the skirt, the end of the last tier. I'm just making sure that edge is going to be all nice for when I hem it. So here I am going ahead and hemming that bottom tier so that it is all nice when it's finished. Thank God for these presser foots that make the hems just look so nice once you've done them. Really happy with that. And that's the end of the sewing part of this dress. I've been really nervous talking through this.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, really. I hope you were able to take something away from this. I hope you were able to, you know, understand it. If you get stuck with anything, flick me a message on Instagram. Happy to help you out or clear up what I haven't spoken about properly. So my name on there is liv.shredman. And if you aren't new to my channel, I'm really sorry about the lack of postings this year. It's because I am spending most of my time making content for Anxiety Chats, which is another YouTube channel that I'm working on at the moment for a company. But I'm loving it. I'm loving talking about, you know, mental health conditions and opening up that conversation surrounding anxiety and all that, because I've got my own troubles, and it's been quite relieving talking about and just knowing that it's helping some people out there, you know. Anyway, I would love to see what you guys have been making, if you have been making anything, or if you've been snowboarding or skateboarding. Tag me in it on Instagram at liv.shredman. Also, I love hearing from you guys, so please leave a comment, like and subscribe. I love chatting with you guys. I feel like I've made this little community on here that's all been pretty positive so far. Thank you guys for following along. This has been super.